Hi, this is Yolanda Vanveen, and in this segment we're going to talk about how to prune a moth orchid. Now, moth orchids, or Phalaenopsis, are probably the easiest orchids to grow, and they're just beautiful, and they reward you with such beautiful flowers. And there's some tricks that you should follow, or some rules that you should follow when you're pruning them. And basically, this stem right here, I got this beautiful Phalaenopsis or moth orchid at the Seattle Garden Show, and it actually got too dry. So when I bought it, it had dried out too much. I've lost some of the flowers. When you're cutting them back, don't cut into the stem itself. If you've got dead flowers, just cut them off where they meet the stem, and just go through and cut them off. Now, remembering they can break right off real easily too. And now your tendency is to cut it all the way down, but what I found with moth orchids, a lot of times they'll keep growing and keep blooming. So you don't want to cut them down to the ground, even if you think you've lost it, because they will grow more stems and more nubs. And just by cutting off a couple of the dead and dying flowers, sometimes they will actually shoot off another branch and give you more flowers. Now, when that is completely dead and really woody and you can tell there's no life to it, just bring it down and cut it down to where it's still alive. And when it's turned completely brown and just a stick, you can cut it to the ground. But what happens just by cutting some of the blooms off or cutting it down as it dies, the Phalaenopsis is one of the few orchids that will actually keep growing more shoots. And by cutting off the one shoot, it'll encourage new growth on another shoot. And it's really that easy. So my trick is, if it's alive, do not cut it down. If it looks real rubbery, it's still alive. If it's really dry, then you can cut it down. And then that way you will encourage more blooms on your moth orchid.